Mets are down 2-1. Going into the ninth inning, tie the game, bases full of Mets. Can't put Michael Conforto anywhere. Steps to the plate, full count pitch, coming to the plate. It's a strike, looks like a strike. It feels like a strike. The only problem is it never strikes the catcher's glove because it strikes Conforto's right elbow. He's a left-handed hitter that is wrapped in some form of a brace or padding. Okay. He leans it over the plate. It's definitely across the black of the plate. There's no question. It is over the plate. He leans into it. He leans into the pitch. It looks like strike three. It is not. It's, as a matter of fact, hit by pitch. Mets win. Meet the Mets, greet the Mets, step right up and hit the Mets. And Mets are celebrating. Yeah. Don Mattingly of the Marlins comes out and goes up to the home plate umpire Ron Culpo like dude, lean into it. Like, that's illegal. He should be out. That's the ruling. Not hit by pitch, should be out. And we've seen the video now, and the great Sportsnet New York announce team of Gary Cohen and Ron Darling and Keith Hernandez called it for what it is, which was Bush League BS.
Yeah, Bush League.
Shouldn't be at all the cause of a Mets win, let alone celebrated by the Mets. And they should actually reverse this call. And remarkably enough, when they go to replay to look at it, that's when you know this is a problem for Florida, because apparently you can't review whether somebody has purposefully stuck his body part into the zone to be hit by the pitch. You can only see, was he hit by a pitch or not? And the replay is absolutely he was hit by the pitch. It's got to be overruled on the field by the umpires. So the minute they're looking at it on replay, it's like, what are you doing? Like, clearly it hit him. And then game over. Conforto is like, you know what? I thought it was a slider. And, and that's why I kind of leaned into it. I thought it was going to slide away from me, or whatever the hell he was talking about. I'd love to do it with a bat next time. Ha, ha, ha. Here's my take on it. First of all, overarching, it stinks. Whole thing stinks. Whole thing stinks to high heaven. Okay? Stinks to high heaven.
On ice.
I look at you, and I know throughout the whole Astros, Red Sox, Apple Watch, do you think the Yankees were cheating too? You're like, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Okay?
Generally speaking,
okay,
yes.
Now, Conforto leaning into the pitch. He has no idea Ron Culpo's about to blow the call. He has no idea that the umpire is about to blow the call, because according to, in his mind, if I lean into the pitch, Culpa has the right to call me out on the spot. It's still 2-2. Now there's 2 outs.
Bases still loaded.
And the Mets can't get the winning run in by an out. This is, that's a big call right here.
Right.
He could be called out. Has no idea. Culpa after the game admitted he blew the call. He did. And so he has no idea. So he's trying, but he could have been called out. My problem is because his right elbow is draped in padding, like he's out there like like one of those, when you put on the sumo wrestling outfit, you can bounce off of anybody.
Right.
So if you're protecting your right elbow from getting hurt, but you're also, there's no fear of getting hurt here. The only fear he might have is being called out and it's 2 outs. There's no fear of getting hurt. So here's what I say. Take the padding off of everybody's elbow. You want to lean into a pitch? You have to run the risk of putting yourself on a 10-day IL or on somebody, or you're going to see Dr. James Andrews or Louis Yoakum. Another name that you never want to hear from back in the day. I don't even know if he's still around. Take the padding off. Because it's so easy for him to lean in. See, I'm leaning in. And I understand that it means if somebody comes up and in, you can actually get hurt. I know you're shaking your head at me. I'm giving my 2 cents here. Take the padding off, because maybe he's not leaning into the zone if he's so exposed. That's another one. Here's another thing. How is this not reviewable? Why? Because it's an interpretation? Well, then, yeah. Interpret through review if somebody, as Conforto obviously was, leaning into the zone, make that reviewable. Yes, it's interpretive. Yes, you need your umpires to actually make a call. Yes, there is replay to fix something that should not take place. That's what replay's there for. Does it open up a gray area? Sure does. But at least the umpires can say, we took a look at it and it's inconclusive. And that's my last point. And I will constantly say this, and I can't believe baseball still hasn't done this. The umpires go, right? They go and they take a look at it. They put on the old headsets.
The old headsets.
They look at it. They're talking to people back in New York City who basically say, yeah, it hit him. Yeah. Okay, fine. So they come out, and all they do, all the umpire does is point to home plate, pirouette, and walk off. And I'm like, okay. So now the interpretation's supposed to be on me as a fan. Like, what the hell does that mean? Does that mean the game's over? You point to home plate. What does that mean? Yeah, that's where it took place. What does pointing to home plate mean? Oh, does pointing to home plate mean that the runner does allowed to score? Like, you didn't even give a safe sign, which I don't even know is applicable or not. Put an umpire with a microphone in front of a camera. Give him a spot to stand at. There's a fixed camera in every stadium, just like every referee in football, head ref, everybody in the NBA now, college basketball, the NHL, which, as we know, a couple weeks ago got a ref into trouble. Put the mic on. After further review, the play stands as called. It's not a reviewable play to see if a player leaned into the strike zone. Game over. How tough is that? But instead, no. See ya.
Most of them have a mic on, Rich. Also, they're
Mike,
already wearing.
It's
easy.
You know, it doesn't personally matter to me if they're already mic'd or not. The point is, make them do it.
Yeah, they got to.
Instead, it's like, see ya. We're done. You fans that have just paid to come here, thank God there are fans. Everybody at home, we don't care. As a matter of fact, this is not reviewable because we're not allowed to interpret. But you, as the fan, you're forced to interpret. Me pointing and doing semaphore. Like, what the hell does that mean?
Put it on the scoreboard.
You're a Marlins fan. You're like incensed. You're like, what the hell does that mean? It is sent to the public address in the stands and the fans at home. This is what we just reviewed. This is what just happened. That's what every other sport does. Are umpires too special to be forced to communicate? I'm not saying Ron Culpa needs to get on there and say, after further review, I blew it, which is what you're going to say to a pool reporter later on. That's fine.
Right,
I'm not saying that. Tell us what you just saw. The whole thing stinks. You got something over there, Chris?
No, I totally agree with you. I agree with you that it's Bush League that Conforto did that.
But it happens.
It happens.
We saw
it happens
the bad
all the
news
time.
bear.
And it happens all the time.
Take one for the team.
Hey.
And it happens all the time.
I know that. But
the no accountability on the umpires.
Right. And on top of it all, play better than the umps ump. You're the Marlins. You're up 2-1. Yeah. Don't load the bases full of Mets and allow Conforto to do something like this.
Right.
So I'll stay consistent on that. But after further review,
there's 3 fouls on the play.
You go and you remove the armor from players' elbows. So maybe they're not going to be so courageous to do something like this. You allow something like this to be reviewable. And then you force the umpires to explain what the hell they just did. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.